Network. I'm your host, Ekport Temple, and today we shall be diving into the captivating world of basketball, focusing our spotlight on a remarkable athlete whose feet have been making waves on court across continents. In the spotlight today is no other than Will Perry, the dynamic American basketball sensation whose journey has been nothing short of extraordinary, from lighting up the court in Mozambique with Ferroviário de Beira to igniting excitement in the hearts of fans with Rivers Hoppers in the forthcoming Basketball African League. Perry's impact has been monumental, truly. So join us as we delve into the highlight of Perry's career, from his stellar performances that propelled his team to the quarterfinals of the 2023 BAL to his recent signing with Rivers Hoopers. Notably, his name has now been etched in the annals of basketball history in Africa, having tied the Basketball African League record for most points scored in a single game and setting a new standard with his impeccable three-point shooting prowess. So sit back, relax, and immerse yourself in the thrilling narrative of Will Perry's journey as we uncover the passion, perseverance, and unparalleled talent that define this remarkable sport personality.
Telling him not to counterpunch. Telling him not to counterpunch. Telling him not to counterpunch.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Every day, our lives are changed by history,
We are one people, all of us.
leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what they blood.
I have fought very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
Telling him not to counterpunch.
Joining us, a sports personality on Atlantic Television Network. And of course, I did mention then that we have some fine gentlemen that will be joining us to discuss these issues. We have live in the studio, Evans Adjei joins us as he makes his debut on sports personality on Atlantic Television Network. Welcome to the show, Evans.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Of course, we have a lot we'll talk about. I mean, today we'll be profiling Will Perry, a basketball player. We'll talk about him and, of course, everything that he stands for. He is now a new player with the River Super side. And a lot of people want to know what's so special about Will Perry that we want to talk about this morning. All that will form the bulk of the conversation. But quickly, let me start with his background so that the viewer can understand where he's coming from and why we're talking about him this morning. William Kai Perry was born on October 11, 1994. He's an American professional basketball player for the Patriots Basketball League, standing at 1.83 meters, that is 6 feet. Perry's play as a point guard. He's an alumnus of Leno Rene University in the USA. He has played several years of professional basketball in Europe and in Africa. Perry is the joint record holder for the most points in a single game in the Basketball All-African League and was the recipient of the Basketball All-African League Sportsmanship Award last year. And so the first question that comes to mind is, there is this thing about your milieu and how it influences you. The Americans, Evans, are well known for basketball. Could that be the reason why he developed the love for the game?
Yeah, I think that could be a reason, just like Nigerians and other countries value the soccer, football more. I think Americans, their main sport is basketball. And I think someone growing up in America will always be a fan and I would love to play basketball.
Yes, certainly, if you look at it, the percentage of becoming a basketball player, yeah, it's actually very high because it's a very common thing. I mean, human product of influence into uh, shape, move. So certainly that aside from basketball, look like American football and rugby, actually stand a chance to seeing young stars taking that position in that sport. So I think that's it. Because the kind of investment that is put into their grassroots basketball or even their football, the kind of investment in it, you will want to love it because when you go for the Super Bowl, you go for the NBA championship, different conferences, you just want to be there. You know, you listen to stories of top.
Like you said, the legends. You grew up in a country where you've seen the likes of LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and all that. You know, you just want to, okay, you just hope that, okay, one day I can be the next big thing in America. I will be revered as this legend. From what Omoni said, that also is a very strong factor. That also would have influenced Will Perry to say, I want to be a basketball player, you know, because I'm from America.
I think that is true. We're looking at basketball. To the Americans, basketball is just more than a game. I think it's a part of their culture. If you look at the basketball, the young men, they play the basketball while the ladies, they are the cheerleaders. And it's just so fun. And you can't grow up in such an environment and you won't be influenced. Just like Nigeria here, I listened to Omoni. Omoni was saying something very, very interesting. He was talking about we growing up from this climb and looking at the JJ Okochas, the Kano, Anko. You know, when you hear these big names and you just want to become one of them, you want to grow up and be like them. And when you go out there, you see your mates in schools, everyone encourages such sport till it's over. So far as he's still fit and he still has the opportunity, I think so. I think looking at his career so far, he has gathered so much experience moving from America to Europe to Africa and right here with us. I think he still have the chance to make it. Although, mind you, Nigeria is a big force in Africa, and looking at Rivers Hoopers are doing very good on their own too. I think if he does well, he might likely have the chance to, even though he might not be at the top clubs in America there, certainly someday he might be able to play for the NBA.
Someday, let's see that will come to fruition. Omoni, the dream, I mean, from the fact that we've gathered, has not yet materialized. So do you still think there is a hope someday to play in the NBA for him? Okay, born in Raleigh, North Carolina, Perry played 4 seasons for the...
So maybe Nigeria passed in this competitor. But by the time you look at the NBA draft and you see the Milwaukee, Chicago, they like like a couple of players we like now and the rest. You see the kind of players they draft there, and you I think in international they played on the team, and now in to it's not the end of the I think about that and looking at young guys right now, looking at the kind of investment some of these basketball teams are giving the young stars. Now he's going to do so well. We do so well in Africa, which are commended for. And we actually play. For example, Manchester United Academy or Chelsea Academy, they never made it to the you see. It doesn't mean they are not players. Probably they are not fit.
Right. As they call it there, in high schools in the US, it's kind of difficult for you to be spotted out, you know, to play professionally. So I'm sure from his effort in his school, because we talked about his schooling.
They have their own kind of characteristics and things they are looking at for in players to build their teams. He himself, you know, is a holder and is also very good at free throwing. And you know, most times it's just like when you look at the game of football too. Sometimes you see that those the attacking players, sometimes they have better opportunity than the defenders. I think it might also be likely same thing that is also affecting him himself. But I think on his own, he's not a bad player. But in America,
the competition does intense.
Is tough and it's intense. And looking at where he's coming from too, his state, North Carolina. I think North Carolina are not too known too for basketball, even though they are doing very well, but you can't compare them with some other states
Atlanta,
that has,
Los Angeles,
the best team. So I think that might also play a huge role in his own development. So when you come from such area, you must be at the spotlight. All lights must be at you before you can be selected. But I think, just like I was saying, he has also done very well for himself. I don't.
For in the Bears basketball club also had influenced, you know, the dream of becoming a professional basketball player. Now let's look at how he moved now from being a collegiate basketball player to a to a professional or to a longing to be a pro basketball. And going on draft in 2016 NBA draft, Perry began his professional career with CB Zamora of the Spanish Liga Plata. That is one of the division in Spain. He averaged 8.3 points and 2.2 rebounds per game at Zamora. He missed the playoffs with 11-9 record, and then he played 2 seasons with a Portuguese club for Ovarense in the Liga Portuguesa. And then he also went on to join Academic Plovdiv of the Bulgarian NBA in 2018 and stayed 2 seasons. Then he went on to play for Amica Stisel in Luxembourg and for CD Estelia, you know, it's still in Luxembourg. So these are the way the teams he has played. He has played in Spain, played in Portugal, played in Luxembourg. Money, let me come to you. All these decisions, it looks like he's a journeyman. Maybe a man who is still dreaming that someday I will achieve my career. I mean, because if you have within 4 years, you have moved from 1 city to 3 cities. I mean, 3 countries in Europe. It tells that there is this burning desire in him.
Stereotype. Some want to this area. That's why I went to Spain, to Portugal, to Korea. So is to the best part of it because to players, other culture, see the way which the time to retire. For not talking of active merit and how we need to no, I think that kind of person that I
Money, I mean, in these countries, but what would have influenced his decision to play from Portugal to Luxembourg?
I think it might be his desire to play at the very top. But I think Spain is actually not a bad league. So, but he still wants to play at the very top. But probably he has not had the opportunity. But I think for him to build a better career, I would have thought that he should have been in a club for some while, because you know each time you move from a team to another team is like building all over again. You're starting all over with new set of players, new set of coaching staffs, and it gives you this idea of like you're starting all over again. I think this time I pray he will stay with us. He will stay with us here, and maybe for a longer number of years. I think what he needs now at this time of his career is for him to stay. I know he wants to be at the very top, But him having that consistency with a team, being able to build and being able to form that family, that kind of this thing. How would I put it? But I know what he needs now is a team where he can stay. I think most of the issue might not really be that most times he wants to move, but sometimes his own ideas might not align with the teams he has been playing for. I don't think anybody wants to be moving from one country to the other country. Imagine moving from one part of Europe where Luxembourg is and where Spain is.
Even the Bulgaria.
Moving from one area to the other area. I don't think it might have been his own best choice if he has any other choice, but I think he's still looking at making the most of the time he has for the game.
All right, let's go on a quick break. Now, when we come back, we're still profiling that man, Will Perry, who, of course, is now a Rivers Supers player. And when we come back, we'll look at his role with Rivers, his exploit in Africa, as well as what he...
Telling him not to counterpunch.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable
You're a human
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
telling him not to counterpunch.
right, welcome back from that short break. If you're just joining us, it is the Saturday edition of Sports Personality here on Atlantic Television Network, and it's that time of the day where we look at the profile of top personalities in sports that have achieved something. And this week, today, we're looking at the effort of giant patriot in Rwanda. He made his debut on February 11, scoring 26 points in 84 to 67 victory over Tigers BBC. And then this brings the question to what he has done so far. From there now, he now plays for Rivers Hoopers Basketball Club. He was signed in February this year, and that prepares him now to become a player for this year's Basketball All-African League. Don't forget, Rivers Hoopers emerged as the winners of the Nigerian Basketball League, thus qualifying them to picking the sole ticket to represent Nigeria, in this year's Basketball All-African, league. And that implies that as they prepare for the league proper, they have to go through the hurdles of
Africa. And you look at it, and that's where where you know where to perform well. There's nothing for you to actually struggle to seek validation elsewhere. So he got that validation in Africa, and since then he has been top of his game. To see him now with Rivers Hoopers, and I'm very pleased he's the best player with that Rivers Hoopers has. They're going to of the championship, So something that you could that gives insight into one of the reasons why he could not make it to the NBA. That's for all of you. That one of the reasons he couldn't make it to the NBA probably because he is not that player of that caliber, and you see him doing well in Africa. It shows that maybe he's best fit in Africa. He can play well in Africa, and also look at Africa. The basketball league is really exceptional. It's not like what you have in Europe. So I those things add up to it. Aside from that, his character, his integrity, just to share to, I think is a very key factor. If you look at, he was about many bad behavior. So he left probably because for example, because he had disagreement with coach or was a team player. No. So he left because probably he felt he needed more. There is more else he needs to explore. There's a life there he has not gotten to, and he needs to check that.
And of course, very important, like you said, maybe I think that flair is just there to play in Africa. Moving from the Mozambican club down to a certain the Rwandan club, and of course Kigali is where the Portros of Rwanda is one club that has really always want to showcase strength in Africa, and it shows that a lot of clubs want him because of his character traits. And sometimes footballers do well in club not because of even how good they are when it comes to their playing career, but the attitude they display, and that's part of the reason why yes, he's a journeyman, you want to say, but he's one man who knows his onion, and maybe he's using it in the right direction.
I think he's one man who knows his onion, and no doubt we've seen his exploit in Africa, and I think he can do more. But I just like the analysis you just gave now about football. Some people might not be at the top. It happened to these brothers, the Inzaghi brothers. In their playing days, their coaches always spotted Simone as being the brain behind the football and the one who knows all the gimmicks, all the calculations, all the understudy of the games. But Felipe was the one that was doing better. We all know Felipe Inzaghi scoring goals day in, day out. But now that they are in their coaching careers, you see that Simone has always been the man with the brain. He's doing very well with Inter Milan, and Felipe tried his hands on coaching and he couldn't do very well because he was just shining while he was playing. I think it's same things. There are players like Perry that can do very well. They read the game.
Playing for Rivers Hoopers. Rivers Hoopers have qualified, for a second time to play in the Basketball African League. The first time it was a bad turnout. The second time we saw Kwara Falcons, unable to do the needful. Now we are back in the third edition, and that implies that we need to do something different. Do you see him as one player who can help Rivers United, to go far in the Basketball African League?
I think he's just the kind of player the Rivers Hoopers need right now. Because if you look at his exploit in Kigali and every other team, it's just like he's an expert. He's an expert when it comes to these African basketball games. I think that is what we need. Following our last outing, that was very shabby and not too good. But I think this time we need his input. We need his professionalism. We just need his experience, because he has been doing it out there and he has been doing it very well. And I think Rivers Hoopers at this time too are in a better shape too as a team, and having someone like Perry in that team, I think it will take us very far. I think this might be one of our best outings so far, because we actually need a player like this to be able to compete out there.
A player to compete out there. Moni, do you agree with Evans on getting Will Perry to do exploit for Rivers Supers this year's BAL Championship?
Okay. If you look at Nigeria, will not be able to develop red light in our situation, like a lot of AI about we participate at continental level. If you look at what happened, it was really very keen. They did well during the Super 8 and the MDF Super 8, and got to the conference, and it wasn't really very good. I remember when I covered the MDF Super 6 now, and before you know it, all the top players had already left, and the players there were just very active, and I think that really had them to think like and okay, in those places that they already have a team that they've been playing week in, week out. Now there are two gaps to this thing. Talking to the team, yes, it will change some things. However, that's the automatic that they have to succeed, like beyond measure when we play the conference. No, and the reason is because Perry is going to do what he can do as a point guard. There are other departments in that team that Perry is not going to be in charge of. So
that's very correct.
If Perry is doing his own work, can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you. I was saying that's very correct, because he cannot play as a point guard and also as a defense, player.
Yes. So he's going to do his own. So if he's giving us the 3-pointer, the 3 points, and first is very poor. Suddenly we are going to lose 6 points. So something that we need to get players down the same pedestal or of the right frame of mind. So with that, we know, okay, these guys are on the same page. They know what they want. They know they are ready to challenge the cause and are ready to go. So if we don't have that kind of thing, I think we are going back to square one. Meanwhile, having someone like Rich is going to spoil these young guys, these lads, to see, okay, if Perry is able to achieve this during his playing career, okay, I think we can do this. So it's going to serve as a father figure because of his experience. Okay, that is there. So that's it. So I think that's one of that Perry will be bringing to the team. We need to solidify that team.
Okay.
We need to get the right mechanism, the right machinery for to execute the competition or to execute at hand. So I think that's the way you develop stuff like. However, they need to get pick every anything.
Okay, let's also get to see this man himself, Will Perry. We went to our correspondent went to another street, the Rivers Hoopers basketball court, where they were training a few days ago, and we had a glimpse of him. We spoke with him, and Will Perry will be live on on Atlantic sports personality this morning. Let's hear from the man we've been talking about so far.
Probably going to be the hardest group I've played in, for sure, because, okay, you have a Rwanda team, they prepare very well, been practicing since December. You have Senegal, who's one of the favorites in the tournament, you know, and they're playing at home.
And you also gave
the last team is Monastir, I think, right?
Like,
so Monastir is obviously
he's very determined to do the needful in the colors of Rivers Hoopers. And there's this thing about Polo. I don't know if it's play in the minds of Nigerians and how things will be shaped. Not only even John Watkins, as well as certain other 3 players have been signed so far. The coach, Ogo Daudu, too. Can we also help Ogo Daudu? He talked about it too, that he will be, with these players that they've signed, they will even want to sign more to achieve something good this season.
The first time we went as supporters, we didn't know how it was actually going to be. So the result is what we saw. But now we are a little bit.
I hear him loud and clear, but that's the coach of Rivers Hoopers, Ogo Daudu. But with all these events, in one word, I think that Will Perry, regardless of the little effort or achievement, you know, not getting to win big, he has not won a African League. Basketball African League in Africa, but it looks like he's going to achieve a whole lot with Rivers United. Just maybe this might also blow in the career, because there's something about playing in Nigeria. If he does well, that may also change the narrative.
I think he does well, just like you said. He does well. But I think he's
just like you said, defense is good. Nobody wants to play defense. Everybody is interested in scoring. Because that's what they yell for, that's what they cheer for when the ball goes through the net. So nobody wants to do the hard work, the dirty work to play defense.
We are going to be higher we need more persons that will help us at this stage. And he's bringing professionals. It's not as if he's bringing persons that below standard. He's bringing people that even the players that he have now will look up to. And I think he's doing a good job. He's doing a good job on that, and I think he will do well.
All right, that will be all this morning on Saturday Sports Personality here on Atlantic Television Network. Many thanks to my on-air, guest, Oluwaferami Moni, for joining us all the way from Lagos, as well as Evans Ajay live in the studio, for being part of the conversation as to profile that man Will Perry, who now plays for Rivers Hoopers Basketball Club. Ekpo Temple is my name. You have a lovely Saturday. Next week, it will be another beautiful time and a beautiful edition. Do well to join us. Go to our social media platform at Atlantic TV Network to follow us, Facebook, Instagram, and X. Until then, have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Telling him not to counterpunch.
from the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the